Okay, we are live. It's 7:01, and I would like to call to order the April 8th, 2021 meeting of the Waukegan Planning and Zoning Commission. Can we have a roll call, please?
Anderson,
Here.
Bill,
Here.
Griffin,
Here.
Grimes,
Here.
Haug,
Here.
Hintz,
Here.
Rivera,
Present.
Santiago,
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here. We do have a quorum. What, we're missing one person? Everybody's here?
Everyone's here.
Oh, I don't see all the faces, but good. Glad to see that. Thank you. Oh, there's Mr. Grimes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 2, is the approval of the minutes of the March 11, 2021 meeting.
I so move.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rivera.
I second
By
it.
Commissioner Bill. Any comments, corrections, changes to the minutes? No? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Anderson? Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Griffin? Commissioner Griffin? I think you'll have to unmute yourself. Commissioner Griffin?
Yes.
Was
I'm
that a
sorry.
yes?
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
That was a yes, Kathy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Grimes? Grimes? I think he has some technical difficulty.
Looks like the screen froze.
How?
Yes,
Oh,
Was that
Hello?
Commissioner Grimes?
yes,
Yes, that's Commissioner Grimes, he's present.
Haug,
Yes.
Hintz,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
Santiago,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Here. Okay, we do have a motion passed, are approved. Next item on the agenda is 3.0 old business. Is there any old business that we need to discuss?
no,
Okay,
there
moving
isn't.
on to new business, item 4. 4.1 zoning calendar number 2628 is a request by the petitioner, the Islamic Foundation North, for an amendment to existing conditional use permit ZC number 1775 to expand operations at the location known as 1751 South Old Plain Road. Who will be presenting for this?
Mr. Chairman, good evening. I'm Jerome Pendersky Jr. I'm the attorney for the petitioner tonight.
Okay, are you the only one that's going to be speaking on behalf of the petitioner?
No, Mr. Chairman, we actually have 3 other witnesses with us. We have our architect, Mr. Noman, with us tonight. We have our traffic engineer for a few moments of testimony, Mr. Gadato. And we also have Mr. Shazwan from the community to say a word or two. You know,
Okay, good. What I'd like to do is to swear you all in. I don't see everybody on the screen, but is everybody live with us right now?
Yes, it is one Sheikh is here.
I'm sorry?
It is one Sheikh, I'm here.
Okay, good. All right, then would you all please raise your right hand? Anybody that's going to speak on behalf of this? Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I
I
do.
do.
Okay, Mr. Noman, I think you're muted. Mr. Noman, was that a yes? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, then please proceed with the presentation.
Very good. Mr. Chairman, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the commission, good evening as well. As I mentioned, I'm Jerome Pendersky Jr. I'm the attorney for Islamic Foundation North. We are a religious not-for-profit organization that was actually founded in 1980. We came to acquire the subject property, which is known as 1751 South Oak Plain, in 1994. And the city was kind enough to grant us our original conditional use permit for a place of worship back in September of 1999. As a part of that original conditional use, the city granted us permission to build a mosque and also permission to build an adjacent cultural center. The mosque itself opened to the public since in 2003, and the property has been continuously used as a religious facility since 2003 without any abatement of any kind. The cultural center was built a few years after the mosque itself was opened. And just by way of background, you know, the original mosque community totaled probably about 200, 250 people when it was originally put together. It had grown a little bit by the time the original mosque was built in 2003, but the community has grown dramatically. It's just a very thriving Islamic community. We're now at about 900 people. We don't expect to grow much more than that. We want to stay kind of where we are. But I must tell you, over the last 18 years and both the passage of time and the growth of the membership, it has simply created a host of new needs and interests on the part of the members for educational opportunities, for fellowship opportunities, community opportunities. At the bottom line, we've simply outgrown our home. We like our home. It's a 16-acre parcel on South Oak Plain Road. You know, it's zoned 012, which is the office institutional use, and it works very well for us. And we've been struggling for the last couple of years as to how to make better use of that property. And the plans that you have tonight that we're going to visit with you really represent our vision for an expanded use of the campus to better meet the needs of our existing community. And as I've mentioned in our petition and already tonight, the plan is not to grow the mosque. 900 members is a great number, but we need bigger facilities to meet all of their needs. And we believe that the plans that we're going to discuss with you in a few minutes will really help us, not just now, but for decades to come, to continue to be an important and thriving part of the religious community of Waukegan, which we're very proud to be a part of. The proposed facility itself is still going to be additions to the existing building. At the end of the day, there will only be one building on the property, even though we're proposing two additions. As our architect will talk about, we have roughly a 25,000 square foot educational addition, which is principally classrooms and some conference areas. And then we have a 35,000 square foot addition, which we're going to call the community and social addition. That'll have athletic facilities, other meeting facilities, a library, and some other important spaces just for the membership themselves. Just by way of just surrounding background, you know, we've owned this property since 1994. The property immediately to our north is a vacant site that's zoned CS, and it's simply home to some cell towers and a few weeds. To the east is vacant property that's owned by the Waukegan Park District, and we're unsure of what their plans are. The property is laid vacant for many years. And to the west of us is also a host of vacant land. It's all zoned R1. And some of it, it may actually be used for agricultural purposes at the present time. You know, the petition that we bring before you tonight is not seeking any change in the zoning, nor are we seeking any variances. We intend to honor all of the code requirements as we've done with all the other structures that have been built on the property, whether it deals with setbacks, heights, or any of the other building and zoning code obligations. The only thing we will be discussing with the city is some type of a staging program. We don't plan on building both additions at the same time. The architect will talk about our staging, but it will be probably several years before we can add both additions to the property, as what took place back in '99 when the city was kind enough to grant us our conditional use permit. It took us roughly 4 years to put the original mosque up. Overall, over the last 18 years, we've always been in compliance with all of the state, federal, and local rules regarding the property. We hope we've been a good neighbor. to all of our neighboring property owners. You know, we've watched as our neighbors to the south have grown into a very mature community that didn't exist 18 years ago. Some members of our own community live in the homes to the south, and we've had a great relationship with them, and we want to continue that relationship. And that's been an important part of the plans that our architect has put together to make sure that we put together structures that are planned to meet our needs, that respect the site, and also respect the needs of our neighbors to the south, that we want them to be as proud as we are of what we build on this property itself. With that, I'd like to call on our architect, Mr. Noman, to actually walk the commission through our site plan, as well as go review the basic architecture that we have in mind for the two additions, Mr. Chairman, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Mr. Noman.
Cal, we are not able to hear you.
Can anybody hear him?
No, he sounds muzzled.
Very lightly. He needs to turn his volume up.
Al, can you turn your volume up for us?
Or Cal, could you call into the Zoom meeting perhaps on your phone? I can give you the number if you don't have it in front of you. Do you want the number? 312-626-6799. Do you need it again? Do you need the number again, Kel? Oh, there you are. Let me admit you in the room. Okay, that phone is on mute, so try hitting *6 to unmute the phone. You probably have to turn the volume down on your computer so that the meeting sound isn't echoing. It's all the way down. I put it under the table. It's still very hard to hear you, Cal, and we're getting some feedback. Don't know what. That's a little better. Can you turn down the volume on your computer speakers so that the phone isn't hearing the computer? And then let's try the phone. You may have to take the phone off speaker and hold it up to your head. Can't
you
hear
hear
you
me
now.
See, you get echo when I.
Yes.
Is this better?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
That's much better.
Okay,
Now
I
we
think
can
my
hear you.
computer speaker was on. Is the sound level okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Much
Yes, we
better
can
than
hear
it
you.
was.
Oh,
We'll make it.
okay. Thank you very much. I didn't realize there's a lot to learn about Zoom. Anyways, I'll get to the point of walking through the design. Now I need to share the PDF I have. Is it possible?
Do you see a share screen button on the bottom of your screen, Cal?
Yes.
Okay, you should be able to click that and then click the screen that you want to share.
Okay. I guess you can see the
There you go.
drawing.
There we go.
Yes, maybe you can zoom in some so it's easier for folks to see.
Right.
Thank you.
I will, I'll zoom into the main content of the drawings every time. So if somebody using smaller monitor can also see this thing. I think all of you are already familiar with some these drawings that I'm going to show. These are the same drawings we have submitted part of the application. It's a 10-acre site with existing building, which in this drawing is the green colored part of the complex of buildings is the existing structure. There are parking here that has been reorganized as you see it now in the drawing. And of course, there is there's a wetland portion of the property that is existing and will remain the same without getting disturbed in this new improvement that we would want to do. I'll start with the parking. There's a parking engineer who will follow me and explain at a greater depth related to movements of cars and volumes and such. But it's a curb cut on Oak Plains Road that will remain the same. We're still using the same point of entrance and egress. And the cars can turn left and right as it comes in, which it does now. But the way it moves around the site has been slightly organized to get most benefit of how the parking is laid out. What else? The parking number has increased by the efficiency of the layout by about 83 parking. So we gained some parking and we had to add additional ADA parking. Part of this was code and a little more than the code we provided because there are more elderly congregants who require ADA parking who do visit the site and the building currently. So that is why we have spread out the ADA parking, some in the front, some in the what we will be calling the school entrance or the classroom entrance, and the others are on the north side, which will be the entrance to the dining hall below. So this is part of the organization of the parking, and the buildings are all connected with each other. As I said, the green building, which is the religious building, that is primarily the existing building that is serving the purposes now. And the two additional buildings are the school building on the left side, which is an L-shaped building that creates a triangular courtyard, like an entrance courtyard to the mosque, and also an entrance for the school and for other classrooms and lounge areas for the organizational offices and meeting rooms. I'll get into these buildings later. On the back side, which is the orange color building, and the accessory or service buildings, which are storerooms, mechanical, electrical rooms, these triangular spaces that surround the essentially a gymnasium building. That is the social part of the organization or design, and that is accessed specifically from the north side. As Jerry has described, on the north side, there is no occupant over there. The adjacent lot is occupied by three, I guess, telecommunication antennas. So the people dropping off and getting picked up for dining occasions or some other ceremony in the dining, that will happen through this entrance. In that space, you can't see it in this layout, is below the gymnasium floor, which is showing a basketball court layout. The connection point of all these three buildings is this classroom lobby with a gallery in the middle for kids to hang around and or wait for parents to come and pick them up. These are the entrance exit doors for those reasons. I will go to, let me see. The pickup, and just so that we orient ourselves, the pickup point or drop-off points, there are three of them, and these are the large one facing O'Plain Road, and that will be the first parking for during congregation time. And then the second is the entrance and exit for the classrooms, which, by the way, is essentially weekend classrooms, at least as 90% of it. Sometimes there may be special classes during the week. And then there is the other point of entrance and exit is mainly for the dining space below on the north side. This entrance is the grand entrance. It comes in, it's an open courtyard, then you come into the religious building. The octagonal space is the mosque, is the congregation prayer hall. And just to understand the occupancy behavior is like this. During the 5-time prayers, everybody comes to the prayer hall. And there's a women's prayer space above, upstairs, and then the men's prayer is in the first floor. And that occupant drives the rest of the occupancies. This is a non-concurrent event. So when people are here, they're not in the classrooms or in the social buildings. When the people are spread around the building, it's when there is no prayer going on. So I'll move to the next sheet that I'm sure some of you already have in your package. This is the first floor. Entrances, as I explained, are in the 3 main points. There is also a secondary point here that is also for entrance and exit. This is a midpoint of the building where people can exit and enter. There are currently an exit entrance at this point in the existing building. The function of the existing building is not going to change. We are keeping the use of the existing building as it is. It's going to be religious. This L-shaped blue color is academic, and this is the orange color that is community. The space between the green and the orange is a stepped garden, like this courtyard. This is also an outdoor space for the community use. It also allows people to step down and go to the dining space below. I'll get to that plan later. This is a collection of some classrooms here, meeting rooms, office rooms, reception, community lounge, IFN's own office for administration. And this is a gymnasium, mainly basketball court. This is used by the school. It'll also be used by the community members as well as neighborhood young kids or adults who wants to use it within the rules and regulations of the management. This is the lobby only for the entrance for the dining, so it doesn't disturb the school. And all these rooms are servicing the community spaces. I'll go to the second floor. In the second floor, the women's prayer is up here in the mezzanine overlooking the men's prayer. This is the existing arrangement, so none of this is changing. What we intend to do is connect the academic building with a bridge, and that connects to the rest of the classrooms for academic purposes. Again, this is part of that, the lecture gallery or gathering space for the students. And then there's a running track around the gymnasium, which is at the second level above the basketball court. There's also a library / computer center here. This is also used by the community as well as the classroom teachers and students for research and use of internet connections and all of that. The next floor plan is the lower level, which, as you can see, it follows the footprint of the rest of the floors. Again, a gathering point to circulate between the three buildings. A large portion of the classrooms are here. There is some women's fitness center here. There will be additional fitness center to provide exercise or equipment for exercise and fitness other than the gymnasium upstairs. What is happening below the gymnasium is a dining hall. That is the entire footprint of the gymnasium, as you can see. You can also get out to a level that is the bottom level of the terrace garden or stepped garden, and you can step up. The steps are slightly away from the building, so it allows natural light into the dining space. A lot of the time, this dining space are going to be used by the kitchen. Just to clarify, this is not a commercial grade kitchen that will serve. This is mostly warmed up food that will come through the service entrance up here in the ground level that will be brought in through a dumbwaiter to a lower level to serve invited guests. Again, these guests are mostly within community unless there's some special guests invited. And their lobby is here. I keep pointing it out. There is common to all the floors restroom in this corner, common to all the floors restroom for community use for all the corners. We're not mixing these two. Within the classrooms, there are nursing stations or nurses stations for attending to kids injured or need attention. That is where we are. This is the roof plan, which is 2-story above ground. So we are not going beyond the height of the existing building. And we don't need to. We have researched this over months in terms of our needs, not only now, but in the future. That's why the classroom numbers may appear a lot, but these will get filled up slowly over time as and when needed. In this new structure, there is a symbolic minaret. This current mosque doesn't have a minaret. So we added this to complement that dome that is existing that you see while driving Oak Lane Road, or if you have visited the site here. So I will finish with one other thing that Jerry initially in introduction mentioned. The community would like to build this in 2 phases. The orange part will be the first phase, and the academic classrooms will be added as a second phase. Between the 2 phases, there may be a couple of years gap between the construction phases. This is a budgetary reason, also a programmatic reason. The first phase is including the gymnasium and these other attached service spaces, mostly because the service spaces has mechanical electrical room where the utility mains will come and connect. And it would be easier to extend from here, like plumbing and such, heating, cooling, electricity, to the new building, which we will not have mechanical electrical service rooms. So these are the basic pieces. The community and the academic are the new improvements or addition. It's all contiguous, and that was done purposely so people don't have to go out and to enter and exit and re-enter the building. I'll go through elevations quickly. Elevations are not always easy to understand. I'll start with the minaret that will be in the front of the L-shaped building. It is located here to complement, as I said, the dome and the minaret as a relationship of the religious role of this IFN institution. The center part is very subtly raised up to create an entrance gateway, it is an entrance gateway which will be open with the circular opening in the roof. It also allows us to bridge between these 2 parts of the academic building. And there is a floor here for IFN office and community lounge, like a clubhouse, if you like, to understand better. And then in the lower level, there are academic classes. So this is the existing building that you see right now. Once we are complete or finished, this will be in front of the existing building. But it's a little deceptive because the existing building is at about 45 degrees as you look from Oak Lane Drive or Oak Lane Road. This is another 2 elevation. This will be the entrance for the academy or the classroom for kids to go in and out of and be dropped and picked up in this location. And they're picking up and dropping off will happen at certain fixed hours, and picking up will also happen at fixed hours. That's why there are more larger entrances for them to get in and out. This is a backside entrance, which will be very difficult for you to understand because it's a skewed elevation. But just to show relationship, the computer center is sticking out of the gymnasium and the dining lobby at the bottom, and then the existing building is on the right side. Far away, you can see the minaret in a silhouette format. This is a drawing that may explain the stepped garden that will be on the side of the gymnasium. As it steps down, people can enter and go out or enjoy the garden in a stepped fashion that is slightly away from the gymnasium, which allows windows for light to enter. The light has been a concern, so that natural light is enjoyed by the community and the academy. This is also in your package, the front entrance, the L-shaped building that creates a very nice front courtyard that is triangular in shape. And the other rear step garden is on the back side between the gym and the mosque. So these are all interlocked structures. As you turn, you see southern face of the classroom. This is not really classroom, but this is mainly the L-shaped building, the classroom. This is where the phasing will happen. So what is on the right side of this line will happen as phase one. What is on the left side of this line is going to be the second phase of this project. I'll go around the school, the computer center on top of the service rooms like storage and stuff. There is a children's play area that is by code fenced off, so young kids can come out and enjoy in their own play zone, so to speak. I'll turn to the back side, which shows the same thing, that has also a reasonable size of a open space for outdoor games. The other sheet, which is this one, again shows the same outdoor space against the back side of the building. The library you can see, and the entrance to the dining space, which in this picture is also clearer. It has its own entrance because this is a large part of the community involvement. So it has its own entrance. It doesn't have to tread through the classroom academic building or the religious part of the complex. This is all I have. I think in your package, you probably have the Plateau survey, which indicates the current way the building is being served with the parking in a layout that will change. The current building will then have new buildings around it, and we will start all of that with your blessings and approval. I will end it here. I think I've covered everything I intended to. Should I stop sharing?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Cal, thank you.
Okay.
I think you can stop sharing right now, Cal.
Okay, I'll move it over.
Cal, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mr. Chairman, it is interesting with it in Cal's presentation that the revamped parking lot itself will actually occupy what you see today as the existing parking lot. But a far more efficient design is going to allow us to dramatically expand available parking without having to add really much more asphalt of any kind, which I think is a terrific compliment to Cal, as well as our traffic engineer that I would like to introduce to you, that Julian Natko is our traffic engineer, and he's prepared a report that's a part of our record tonight. But I've asked him to spend a few minutes with us to talk about two issues that I've raised with him. One, I would like him to speak briefly about the adequacy of our parking that Cal has talked about, as well as the internal traffic flows to make sure that they actually are reasonably safe. And two, I've asked him to just touch on the question of whether or not we've ever created traffic burdens on Old Plain Road, because that's our principal means of ingress and egress from the site. And with that, I'd like to call upon our traffic engineer to take the floor.
Good evening, everyone. I am the transportation manager and the traffic lead with Quig Engineering, a Chicago-based company. And I'm really excited to be here this evening because Waukegan was the city that hosted us 20 years ago when we came to United States, the place where we opened our first bank account, and we learned a lot about living here. But going back to the dry side of the engineering, our company was commissioned by IFM to prepare a traffic study. And the traffic study usually includes three main components: to analyze the potential impacts on the adjacent roadways and also on the site, and I'm talking about parking and circulation issues. Number two, to look at the safety issues that might occur due to the new development. And number three, to propose mitigations in case that the study identifies capacity constraints and or operational deficiencies. I want to mention that we took a look at the worst possible scenarios that might occur from a traffic point of view, and I will explain soon how we did that. So the busiest times for the mosque are on Friday afternoons for the prayer services. As it was mentioned before, the capacity of the mosque will not increase with the addition to the campus, and IFN does not expect a significant change in membership. Also, the new additions are not expected to be utilized at the same time as the prayer service in the mosque or concurrently with each other. One of the key measures of effectiveness in traffic analysis is the estimated level of service of a roadway segment, intersection, or specific movement. Level of service is provided on a scale of A to F, with A representing excellent traffic flow with minimal delays, loss E representing conditions approaching the capacity of the intersection, and loss F meaning that the intersection is over capacity. In Illinois, actually in the United States, the lowest acceptable level of service for an intersection is level of service D. The first step for a traffic study is the traffic counts, collecting the data, visiting the field, and we collected the traffic counts at the site entrance and at the intersections of O'Plain Road with Belvedere Road and O'Plain Road with Buckley Road. We ran into a bit of a problem. We also collected traffic counts at the site entrance back in 2017. And when we looked at and compared the numbers, actually the site coming in and out of the mosque in 2021 was way less than what was in 2017. That's probably because of the COVID situation we are in now. The traffic on O'Plain was also relatively less. The northbound traffic was 25% less than in 2017, and so on. So what we did when I mentioned the worst case scenario, we took the highest traffic numbers that we collected in 2017 and 2021, and we combined them for each of the movements at the intersections that we analyzed. So I would say that we were more than conservative because we wanted to make sure that things will work out once everything is built on. During the Friday prayer service, the site access intersection worked at a very decent level of C, the overall intersection. And the only movement that had longer delays and worked under a level of service D, still acceptable, was the westbound left traffic coming out from the site going onto southbound O'Plain Road. The intersections of O'Plain Road with Buckley and Belvedere respectively didn't show any problem. We added the highest number of the traffic going to and coming from the site, and they were still working at a decent level of service. That was one of the main things that we concentrated on, the prayer time on Friday between 12 and 2 p.m. when we have to deal with the highest traffic at the mosque. Also, the proposed academic addition to the IFM would provide more classroom space to offer religious educational classes for their youth members. And these classes are supposed to take place on Saturdays and Sunday, tentatively from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. According to the proposed plans, the academic edition would have a full capacity of 550 students. IFN will encourage carpooling to reduce the peak traffic volumes for the student drop-off and pick-up. But for the purpose of this analysis, we based our assumptions on 2 students per vehicle. That meaning an additional 275 vehicles getting into the site and coming out of the site in less than 1 hour. These additional vehicles were split evenly between the north and south on O'Plain Road, based on the approximately even directional split of traffic entering and exiting of the facility during the Friday peak period for the prayer services. And while all the movements on O'Plain Road and the movements going in and going into the site worked at a decent level of service. During the afternoon hours, we realized that the westbound left traffic coming out from the site and going onto southbound O'Plain Road would work at a level of service F on Saturdays and level of service E on Sundays. What this means, the vehicle coming out from the site and trying to make a left will encounter delays on Saturday up to 80 seconds and on Sunday like 35 to 37 seconds or something like that. So one of the things that we recommended was that the IFN should also work with the Waukegan police to direct the traffic at the peak drop-off and pick-up times for the school on weekends, similarly to the current arrangement for Friday afternoon prayer services. Also, we did a traffic signal warrant analysis based on the manual and uniform traffic control devices, and the warrants provide guidance for whether or not a traffic signal would have the potential to improve the traffic operation at the intersection. The answer was no, and all the warrant is calculations are attached to our traffic study. Lastly, the proposed site plan was also reviewed for parking and circulation issues. The proposed plan, first of all, eliminates the angle parking, reconfigures the parking areas and aisles, and increases the number of parking stalls from 240 something to 329. Although the City of Waukegan zoning ordinance only requires 1 parking stall per 4 seats, providing for class 30 facilities, mosque churches, and other places of worship, the minimum number of parking spaces assumed for the mosque was based on 1 parking stall per 3 congregants. So this results in a minimum of 202 parking spaces based on the capacity of 606 people, the capacity of the mosque. And the site offers 300, almost 120 extra parking spaces. So the bottom line, no traffic signal is warranted at the intersection of the site access and O'Plain Road. Number 2, O'Plain Road will not be adversely impacted by the proposed expansion. Number 3, the parking and the circulation within the site are improved by the proposed design and meet the city standards. Actually, in most of the cases, exceed the city standards. And the last one, the vehicles coming out from the site and making a left turn will experience delays, and the cooperation with the City of Waukegan Police that is already occurring on Friday. It is recommended to be extended on Saturday and Sundays pick-up and drop-off operations. And with this, I conclude my little presentation, and whenever you have any questions, or when we get to the time for question, I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Julian, thank you for your presentation. And Mr. Chairman, our last witness for a few moments is the official representative of the community, Rizwan Sheikh, who helps chair and leads the actual development committee that's trying to put this project together. And I'd like to call on Rizwan for a few moments just to give you a few words from the community itself, if I may.
Please.
Thank you, Jerry. Can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rizwan Sheikh, an Islamic Foundation North representative, and also a petitioner on this application of amendment to existing conditional use permit. As a member of the growing Islamic Foundation North community, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for the services provided by the City of Waukegan to all nonprofit organizations in our community. As our IFN community grows, we are able to help each other as neighbors and friends, which has been very important now during these difficult times of pandemic. This has also increased internal IFN community needs, and now more than ever, there is a need for a recreation center for our youth and more classrooms for our weekend school, and to provide better services at IFN location. At IFN, there is a need to expand our facility to better serve the needs of the community. The community has grown, and therefore the current space is not adequate for all of us to congregate. We need additional classrooms for our kids, and we also need gym for our youth. IFN aspires to offer the kind of activities that attract and retain the youth and offer them choices that help them develop and foster their sense of social responsibility. I also want to share how IFN is supporting and helping community at large by doing free COVID-19 testing, food drives, voter registrations, free health clinics are just few examples that were at top of my mind. We allow our neighbors to use our playgrounds. We do interfaith dialogues, meetings with all other faith leaders. This shows that we are not only serving our Muslim community in the area, but also serving broader public at large. At the end, I would really like to thank Noel and Russ for all their guidance and assistance to our team. Thank you very much.
Juan, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the formal presentation tonight. I have some concluding remarks, but I've looked at your rules, and that apparently those come a little bit later on if there's anyone else who wants to speak on this subject or after the questions, at least as I understand the protocol.
Okay, well, you can make concluding remarks now if you'd like, or we could just go into questions from the commissioners.
Well, I'd be happy to I have a few, just a few concluding remarks, and then we'll be happy to go to the questions if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead.
Very good, good. I'm hoping that yourself and the rest of the commissioners will see just how excited the community is over this project. You know, we've been, we think, a great neighbor and a great asset to the community for the last 18 years. And we're hoping to continue that tradition for decades and decades to come. But in order to meet our needs and as of our community, we do need to expand our site. And we think that the plans that we brought to you tonight respect our neighbors. They allow us to create reasonable space with reasonable architecture so that it fits our site. I think our architect has done such a great job of designing a space that meets our needs, but it doesn't look larger than it has to be. In fact, it probably will look smaller than what it really is when it is all put together. You know, we are an inviting place of worship. As Rizwan has said, we want to be an important part of this community. We think Waukegan is a great place to live and to worship. And we're very proud to have been a part of this community since 1999 when we got our original permit. And we're looking to continue to grow and prosper and hopefully to contribute to the welfare of the community. As I mentioned at the onset, this project will continue to meet all of the city requirements. We are asking for no specific variation variances. There's no zoning changes. We've honored all the existing rules and we will continue to honor them without exception or reservation because we want to continue to be a good neighbor as we have for 18 years and hopefully for the next 18 and 20 years as well. With that, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your time tonight, and I'm hoping that ultimately we'll get a positive recommendation from the commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, just a minute. I'm going to let commissioners ask questions. But first of all, I just want to mention for anybody that happens to be following this tonight, that there will be a call-in time, a general audience time in just a little while. We'll let you know when it's going to be. And anybody who wishes to address the commission on this matter or any other matter, I mean, this is the only item that's on the agenda for tonight. Anybody in the community who's following this that would like to call in and address the commission, you'll have an opportunity to do that. The number is 847, area code 847-856-6412. And I'll let you know about a minute or so before we actually go live with the calls. Once again, 847-856-6412. And with that, I'd like to ask if any of the commissioners have questions of the petitioners.
Well, I'd like to, if I could say something, Commissioner, or excuse
Please.
me, Chairman. I had the pleasure of, when I was an alderman of the 9th Ward, and I had the opportunity to go visit the mosque, which is beautiful, beautiful site. And beautiful architecture. So that was great to see. And I want to compliment the presentation. It was excellent. It seems like they were definitely prepared, and I compliment you on this. So, and it's great to have the Muslim community engage with our general population, and it's good to see. And I'm very happy to see this. So. Congratulations on your presentation. It was well done. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rivera. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Durando.
Council, I just had one question for you.
Sure.
I don't believe that the packet included a copy of the indemnification agreement. Did you sign and return the indemnification agreement to the city,
We did,
given
sir.
that tonight's meeting is purely virtual?
We did, yes. Mr. Russ
Excellent.
Tomlin had brought that to our attention. Actually, at the time we filed the petition and we did review it and signed it. So it should be in the city's archive somewhere.
Thank you very much. We'll incorporate it by reference.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments by commissioners?
I
just have, I'm sorry, go ahead, Teddy.
I just have a comment. I thought the presentation was very thorough. And the other, I think I want to compliment the religious community for being a part of the religious community of Waukegan. I know you have been very involved in community service, and so we're happy to have you here before us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Haug?
Yeah, I'd like to concur with what Commissioner Rivera said. You know, looking at the drawings and being an architect, I have to really compliment your architect. You did a really exceptional job. I am just really proud that you're investing in our community and putting a piece of architecture like this in the community. It's a good quality piece of architecture, very well designed. Looks like you're using quality materials. Too often we see the opposite. So hats off to you, very well done. The one question I have, I see that you're fairly dramatically increasing the impervious area of the site, and I'm just wondering how you're handling stormwater detention.
Let me direct that question to Cal to start with. I know that they've had some preliminary conversations with civil engineers and with the city, and I know that that's been incorporated into the site plan, but the specifics I can't speak to, but hopefully Cal can hopefully address that question for us. Cal, are you still with us?
Yes, I just had to unmute my cell phone. The existing site, if you see the front side of the existing building, is essentially hard surface. And that's what we are going to be making the academic L-shaped building sitting on. So we're not taking up any quote unquote pervious space, so to speak. The pervious space we are taking is where the gymnasium is and the gymnasium service buildings are. This being a 10-acre site with wetlands and you can see almost, I would say, more than 1/3 of the site is pervious by being wetlands and in the areas on the east side of the property. On top of that, the east side of the parking, it has underground water detention pipes that are, I'm guessing, at least 5 feet diameter. It's all, I think there are like 5-6 rows of going north-south in north-south direction, collecting any hard surface water into the detention pipes. Then you can see a little right in the middle of that parking on the east edge is where the designed water overflow into the detention area. And so it is already designed, and the civil engineers have said that may not all suffice, but another row of pipe may have to be added. So it is a strategy that has been thought through.
Okay, thank you.
Any
Welcome.
other questions from commissioners? Okay, then before we ask city staff to give their recommendation, I'd like to mention one more time, we're going to be having call-in in just a little while for anybody that's following this that would like to address the commission on either this matter or any other matter. You will be allowed to speak via telephone, and the call-in number is 847-856-6412. Once again, 847-856-6412, and we will let you know when call-in starts. It'll be shortly. Okay, I'd like to ask city staff now to give us their up-to-the-minute recommendation.
We are recommending approval with the conditions listed in the staff report. And most of those have to do with conclusions from the traffic study.
Okay, and the question I would have, were there any issues with the traffic study that were of concern to the staff?
No.
Okay. Very good. And do the commissioners have any questions of city staff? No questions. Okay. Very good. Then I'd like to open the call-in time. I don't think we have any informational items, right? Okay. General audience time will begin. You can call in at 847-856-6412. You can call in and address the commission, 847-856-6412. I think we may have a call right now.
Mr. Chairman, this is Rizwan Sheikh. We have two community members on the Zoom call. One is Mr. Harith Jamil and one is Ambreen Sharif that would like to make a statement.
Okay, we can allow them to do that as members of the public. And are they both present?
Yes, they're both here. Thank you.
Okay, and I'd like to swear them both in. Are they on right now?
Yes.
I am.
Okay.
Harith, you have to unmute your phone.
Okay, then what I'd like to do, how many people is that? 2 people, 2 individuals?
Yes, 2.
Okay, would you please both raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and for the record, as you begin speaking, please give your name and your affiliation to the project.
Ambreen Sharif. And I am a volunteer in the Islamic Foundation North for the expansion project.
Okay, please proceed.
So, Assalamu alaikum and good evening, Mr. Chairman and the Waukegan Planning and Zoning team members. My name is Ambreen Sharif and I'm humbled and honored to be speaking on behalf of Islamic Foundation North. Our family has been a part of the IFN community for over 30 years. When we first moved to the Lake County and enrolled our daughters and son in the Sunday school at Islamic Temple in Libertyville. Since then, our community has come a long way, first buying the land and then building our existing facility at 1751 South Oakland Road, which opened its doors in the community in July 2004. Over the period of nearly 17 years, our community has witnessed tremendous growth in our congregation, weekend school, and special programs. For example, our parking lot in front of the building was originally designed to accommodate nearly 150 vehicles. Due to the tremendous growth within our community, we found this to be inadequate to allow for safe parking of the vehicle. Therefore, in 2009, after obtaining the relevant permits from the city of Waukegan, we built additional parking lot in the rear of the building at a significant cost to us. The current proposed expansion will address IFN's desire to serve the community and meet practical needs and to provide a well-rounded service for now and in future. The expansion shall address the religious needs, the academic, and the social needs of the community in capacity, program, and scope of IFN. The academic wing will provide additional classrooms, administrative offices, meeting rooms, etc., whereas the social wing shall provide an indoor gymnasium of NCAA standard basketball court, which is much needed for our youth. In addition, the plan also addresses the need for a 3-lane track for walking, jogging, and running, which I'm looking forward to using during the winter months. Alhamdulillah, we have a very vibrant and supportive IFN community where the members are involved and participate in various committees. Hence, the current proposed expansion will address the needs of all ages, the kids, youth, parents, grandparents, and the older generation. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you. And who was the next person?
It's Haris Jamil, but I think he just probably got dropped, so he might dial back in.
Okay, if he dials back in, we can have him speak to us later. Do we have any calls,
Thank you.
John?
He is going to join us. He actually really needs to use the call-in number. The Zoom link is only for commissioners and members of the team that are making a presentation. And
Okay,
normally
very
we
good.
don't let public make comments
So
via
he
this
will
link.
call, he'll call in on the call-in number then.
Yes, please.
That number is 847-856-6412. Do we have somebody on the line?
Yes, I am Haris
Harris
Jamil
Jamil.
online.
Okay, Harris Jamal.
Yes.
Okay, would you please raise your
speak
right
now?
hand?
Okay. Yes, I'm
Do you
reading.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Haris Jamil, and I'm currently serving as the chairman of Islamic Foundation North Board of Trustees. It is a great pleasure to speak on behalf of Islamic Foundation North in this planning and zoning committee meeting. I moved to this area in 2002, and as soon as I became part of this IFN community, I started teaching at the IFN Sunday School. It is my passion to mentor the community children. When I was the principal IFN Sunday School, I realized that children typically stop coming after 8th or 9th grade. To bring youth back to IFN, I launched the High School Youth Corps program. It was a very interactive program for the students. The High School Youth Corps program instructors were all current college students. The program has successfully kept our high school students engaged in IFN thus far, but the physical shortage of space is limiting the number of activities our youth can get involved in. After all, our entire community has grown tremendously in the last 17 years. When IFN was built in 2003, we had a small community of 200 to 250 people, but now our number has grown to 1,000. We are facing a serious shortage of parking spaces, prayer halls, and the classrooms for children. We lack our other facilities that could benefit our community, a gymnasium for our youth, or a conference room for the community members to plan various activities. In the last 2 years, we were unable to admit all applicants in the weekend school because of the lack of space. In summary, at IFN, we have an urgent need to expand. The current proposed expansion will address the religious, academic, and the social needs of our growing community. The expansion project will provide additional classrooms, administrative staff offices, multi-purpose meeting rooms, clinic space, and indoor gymnasium. I would like to request the planning and zoning members to help us with the IFN expansion project process to fulfill the needs of our growing community. Thank you very much for giving your time. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mr. Jamil. Do we have anybody else on the line? Once again, that call-in number is 847-856-6412. Nobody else on the line? Okay, nobody else on the line. There was somebody else who was going to call in.
I believe that's everyone, sir.
Okay, so that's everybody.
I think Rizwan, let me
Okay.
ask you, Rizwan, is that everyone?
Okay.
That is correct.
And-
We're done.
And for the general public, anybody who happens to be following this meeting, 847-856-6412 is the call-in number. I just want to make sure that we give everybody a chance to address the commission who would like to, so I don't want to leave anybody out. Okay, then I guess we're going to move along to item 7, which is votes on all business. Is there anything else I'm missing? Oh yeah, let me just mention, we do have a number of letters of support, okay? I have 6 letters here, which are all from people who are not members of the foundation, or adjacent property owners or other individuals that support the project. In addition to that, not included in this packet are approximately 20 to 25 letters of support from people who identify themselves as members of the Islamic Foundation North. So we did not have any letters of anyone that was opposed to this project, which says quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Durando, is there anything else I'm leaving out before we get to the votes?
I do not believe so, sir.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. You're not here to kick me under the desk, so I have to ask you.
Alas, not.
Thank you. Okay, item 7, votes on all business items. We need a motion to recommend approval or to recommend denying approval to zoning calendar number 2628, a request by the Petitioner Islamic Foundation North for an amendment to existing conditional use permit ZC number 1775 to expand operations to the location known as 1751 South of Plain Road. Do we have a motion?
I motion to recommend to approve.
Commissioner Rivera makes motion to recommend approval. And do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Howard. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Anderson,
Yes.
Bill,
Commissioner Bill, I think you're muted.
Excuse me, that's an aye, yes.
Thank you.
Griffin,
Commissioner Griffin, you're muted, but I think it looks like a yes. If I can read this. Was that a yes? Repeat it. Commissioner Griffin, would you please repeat that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We didn't hear you. I want to make sure. Commissioner Grimes?
Yes.
That's a yes.
I have a power outage.
Commissioner Haug?
Yes.
Kathy, you are muted. We can't hear you.
Commissioner Hintz?
No, my speaker's not working.
Okay, that was a yes, from Commissioner Hintz.
Rivera,
Yes.
Santiago,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes, it's unanimous. Motion carries. Okay, congratulations. And staff, what is the next step, please? Would you please explain what the next step is?
This item will be on the Community Development Committee for Monday, May 3rd
What time is it?
at the City Council. I don't know yet. It will be sometime between 5 and 7. They will set that time the Friday before the meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your time tonight and your attention.
Thank you very much, and best of luck with your project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to our favorite part of the meeting, the adjournment. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, before you adjourn, if I can just
Yes,
have
please. Mr.
one
Grant,
moment of personal privilege.
you're not coming through very well.
I apologize. I just wanted one brief moment of personal privilege. Thank you all for the last 4 years serving as your attorney. It's really been a privilege. I don't know, what the future is going to hold in that regard, but if this is our last meeting together, I wanted to just say thank you all very much. I do wish this had been in person, but it's been fun.
Thank you, Douglas.
Well, thank you very much.
you very
And,
much.
that's very timely remark with the change in administration. None of us really know what the future is going to hold for any of us on the commission. So, we hope that we're all going to be able to continue to serve. But this will be at the request and of the new mayor and the city council. So, whatever happens will happen. And I just want to say I've been honored to serve on the commission for 3 mayors now. And we'll just see what happens. Thank you all. Thank you all for your participation. Everybody's been, couldn't have asked for a better commission. Everybody shows up to the meetings. We have very few people not attending. We had perfect attendance tonight. And it's just an honor serving with all of you. And with that, we didn't call for adjournment yet, right? Okay, we need a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Anderson was moving her lips, but she wasn't coming through. She makes a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
And who's second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Hintz seconded. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Anderson,
Yes.
can they even hear me? Bill,
Yes.
Griffin,
Commissioner Griffin, you're muted. Is that a yes? Okay, you're not coming through, but it looks like a yes. Commissioner Grimes?
Yes.
That was a yes. Commissioner Haug?
Yes.
Commissioner Hintz?
That's yes.
Yes. Commissioner Rivera?
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago?
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Good night,
care.
everyone.
Doug, thank you for being here.
Thank
You made a real difference for the commission.
Yeah.
I appreciate hearing that, Commissioner.
So thank you.
Thank you, Douglas. Been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Chairman.